Moving on now, grassland conservation is an important topic. Nebraska's diverse grasslands blanket more than half of the state. These grasslands serve multiple purposes, including providing homes for wildlife, recreational opportunities, and of course, creating grazing opportunities for livestock producers. That's why the grassland conservation was a topic of discussion for several University of Nebraska-Lincoln seniors this week. On Monday, students made their way into the field to learn about grazing systems and their purpose in grassland conservation efforts.
Decided to bring some steers over to graze our prairie planting in front of Hardin Hall. I'd say I got two goals with this. One, this prairie planting produces a lot of biomass. It was a wet, rainy growing season. And so what are our options to knock down that biomass? Prescribed burning is not a good option right here. Haying, we don't have the equipment for that. Grazing, these are all tools we use in grassland management. But more importantly is the teachable opportunities. We have a grassland undergraduate major, and we teach a course for grad students and seniors called Grassland Conservation. A lot of our graduates from natural resources, agronomy, grassland science, they'll end up getting jobs with state and federal agencies, helping to manage half of Nebraska's privately owned grassland. And so these students need to be able to know the tools for grassland management, conservation, grazing. They need to understand prescribed fire as a tool. They need to understand haying and the role of mowing. They need to understand the use of herbicides for noxious weeds. They need to know how to control expansion of woody encroaching species like red cedar. I want them to understand a little bit about herbivory in general, whether it's elk or bison or cattle or horses or goats, the role that herbivores play in grassland. But if we're going to have diverse, healthy grasslands into the future, they need to understand the concept of herbivory. So I gave an assignment to our seniors and I said, spend 15 minutes, watch the cattle. I want you to write down 10 observations or questions. They don't need to be brilliant. Some of them can even be artistic. You can draw a sketch or make a haiku poem or anything, but just watch the cattle for 15 minutes and come up with some observations and questions. I come at it, officially, that I said this course for seniors is called Grassland Conservation. It's not called beef production. But I think they're going to realize those are two sides of the same coin, right? Over 95% of those grasslands in Nebraska are privately owned. Say my goal is to ensure we have healthy, diverse grasslands. And we're going to face a lot of challenges in the 21st century. We're going to have to use all the tools in our toolbox. And by the way, beef production is a big part of that. And if those ranches, if those private grasslands aren't economically resilient, well, then they're not going to be ecologically resilient. And the idea of a buffalo commons that floated a generation ago, that didn't go anywhere. Cattle and bison aren't that different in how they operate.